Hey, welcome back to the Long Island Sound podcast. I'm your host, Steve Yusko, and today we've got something truly special on the agenda. If you've been following the channel, you know we've been tracking the incredible musical journey of Wren. Today, I'm diving into his video on the track called Neurodivergent. But before we hit play on the reaction video, I want to take a step back and why I'm so incredibly proud of Wren for putting this out into the world. Wren has never been the one to shy away from the gritty, raw realities of the human condition. But with Neurodivergent, he is shining a massive, unapologetic spotlight on mental health challenges and the realities people face with different diagnoses. You know, when I first heard of this title track, I realized something. I heard the word neurodivergent thrown around a lot, but I wanted to truly understand the depth before I sat down in this chair today. So I did what I do best. I went down a research rabbit hole. I wanted to learn exactly what it means to be neurodivergent and how it impacts the brilliant artists and creators we love. And I remember in my Psychology 101 class, hey, be careful, don't self-diagnose. Well, I think I self-diagnosed a little bit about the way that I approach creativity, and I think I learned something here. So I wanted to learn exactly what it means to be neurodivergent and how it impacts the brilliant artists and creatives we love. What I found absolutely blew my mind, and I know you're going to love this as well. In fact, I'd love you to comment on this. Hey, we have a community here, and I want to get that back and forth. It helps me learn and increases my ability to be curious about the audience we have here at the Long Island Sound, especially you renegades, and you know who I'm talking to. First off, let's define this. Neurodivergent is a non-medical umbrella term that describes people whose brains process, learn, and experience the world differently than what society considers a standard or neurotypical. You know, we're talking about a broad spectrum of natural cognitive variations, everything from the autism spectrum disorder and ADHD to dyslexia and sensory processing disorders. For the longest time, society looked at these differences through a lens of a deficit, something to be fixed or managed. And we really have to grow away from that. But the neurodiversity paradigm flips that entirely on its head. It views these conditions as natural adaptive variations in the human brain structure. You know, a different operating system, not a broken one. And here's where it gets incredibly fascinating for a music podcast. Because their brains are wired differently, neurodivergent individuals often have a unique mix of advantages. One, hyperfocus, exceptional pattern recognition, intense creativity, heightened empathy, and out-of-the-box problem solving. In the creative industry, advertising, marketing, media, and of course music, nearly 1 in 2 people identify as neurodivergent. Let that sink in. Nearly 50% of the creative world operates with a neurodivergent brain compared to about 31% of the general population. The very industry of art relies heavily on the strengths of being neurodivergent. You know, he's talking about autism and ADHD. And science tells us that the co-occurrence of these two, often called AUDHD, creates a totally unique and incredible, powerful, creative dynamic. You know, people with ADHD have a consistent influx of divergent ideas, rapid associations, and impulsive curiosity. Their brains jump between concepts to make brilliant, unexpected connections. Meanwhile, the autistic brain offers the ability to explore topics with intense, incredible depth, offering a systematic focus and persistence to execute those wild ideas. It's literally a perfect storm for the musical genius. Wide-ranging curiosity paired with deep, laser-like focus. You know, often I talk to musicians and I say, you must be wired that way. How does it work? I think I found the answer here. So about being wired that way, there's even a biological mechanism for this called lower latent inhibition. Latent inhibition is the brain's unconscious ability to ignore stimuli it thinks is irrelevant, which helps neurotypical people maintain focus in busy environments. And I have a struggle with that myself. But people with ADHD or highly creative minds often have a lower latent inhibition. That means that their cognitive filter is highly porous. A massive volume of its sounds, visual details, abstract conceptual connections, floods their consciousness thought. While this can definitely lead to sensory overload or challenges with traditional executive functions, when it's paired with a high intellect, the brain synthesizes all these diverse, seemingly unrelated stimuli into highly original patterns and creative breakthroughs. And this isn't just a modern phenomenon. Neurodivergent artists have been the architects of our musical history. Let's look back at Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He composed over 600 works in his lifetime. While the term autism didn't exist in the 18th century, historians note that his documented behaviors align closely with the autism spectrum. His hearing was so sensitive that loud sounds made him physically ill. He had intense fixations, and he engaged in repetitive behaviors. Researchers even suggest that the brilliant repetitive phrasing in his compositions directly reflects the way his autistic mind worked. All right, and then you have Ludwig van Beethoven, whose stormy personality and extreme emotional highs and lows exhibited signs of what now we understand as bipolar disorder. Yet he created some of the most memorable music in the Western classical tradition. Just think of Moonlight Sonata. All right, let's fast forward to the modern era, and the list of neurodivergent musical pioneers is absolutely staggering. Frontman for the grunge band Days of the New cycled through misdiagnosis and addiction before finally receiving an Asperger's diagnosis. He said that music allowed him to liberate himself by being honest about his struggles. Now let's go to James Durbin, who you might remember from American Idol. He was diagnosed with autism and Tourette syndrome at the age of 10. He openly talked about his neurodivergence on national television, telling millions of viewers that autism isn't a disability, it's an extra sprinkle of genius. I really love that. Look at Jewel, the incredible folk pop singer. She was teased in school for severe dyslexia, but she said her trouble with reading forced her to practice the physical mechanics of the guitar 20 times harder than anyone else, relying on tactile memory to become the icon she is today. All right, what about heavy metal pioneer Ozzy Osbourne, who battled both with dyslexia and ADHD? His workaround was to use a tape recorder and carry it everywhere so that the rapid-fire melodies generated in his ADHD brain were never lost. All right, now let's go to Will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas, who has openly stated that his ADHD directly fuels his creative energy and that music is the ultimate way he's able to focus. And you know what? There are even musicians who literally see the music they're creating. There is a neurodivergent condition called chromesthesia, which is a type of synesthesia where sound involuntarily evokes the experience of color, shape, and movement. It's caused by an anatomical hyperconnectivity between the auditory cortex and the visual processing areas of the brain. For example, Pharrell Williams uses this color visualization as his primary method for identifying musical keys, ensuring a song is in key based on whether the colors match or feel right. Even our own Billy Joel from Long Island associates soft, slow melodies with blues and greens, while fast tempos and strong melodic patterns explode into vivid reds, oranges, or golds in his mind. Just imagine experiencing the world like that. You know what the clinical world sometimes sees as sensory processing differences or over-responsivity, the creative world reclaims it as physical material. Neurodivergent artists aren't just reflecting the world, they're recalibrating how the world can be experienced. Now we got to look at the other side of the coin. We have to acknowledge the struggles. Wren doesn't just rap about the superpowers, he raps about the pain, because living in a society built for neurotypical brains can be exhausting. Neurodivergent individuals often struggle with executive dysfunction, difficulty regulating attention, and brutal sensory overload. In his lyrics for this track that we're going to look at, Wren screams, quote, "What makes a person whoa? Neurodivergent, whoa, sick for certain." He talks about how the medical system treated him. Quote, "They told me I was broken, nothing but a defect in my head, said that I was hopeless." Really breaks my heart, but it's a reality for so many. Hey, I want to hear from you. Tell me about your reality. Tell me how you connect with Wren. tell me if you think you're neurodivergent or neurotypical. Let me know in the comments. Hey, by the way, if you like what we're doing here, hey, please hit the subscribe and hype button. It really helps us keep the lights on and keep things moving, and helps me do these deep dives. So I really appreciate it. You know, nearly 90% of neurodivergent employees in the creative industry report engaging in masking, consciously hiding their natural cognitive traits, their communication styles, and sensory needs just to blend in, to act normal, to avoid judgment. You know, this constant self-monitoring leads to massive emotional exhaustion and burnout. The medical and educational systems have historically tried to force neurodivergent brains to conform to rigid, standardized boxes. And that's exactly why Wren's song really is a masterpiece. He's talking about the label of neurodivergent, and he's wearing it like a badge of honor. He says it best in his song, and I quote, "But see, this world's an asylum, and shit, we're all in the system, and our sanity's the cost of admission." He refers to himself as the glitch in the algorithm. So as we get to this reaction video, I want us all to keep this in mind. We're about to witness the mind of a brilliantly creative artist who is using his unique neurological wiring, the exact same wiring that society sometimes calls a disorder, to create profound, gender-defying art. Wren is advocating for everyone out there who feels like a misfit, showing us that cognitive diversity is an absolute asset to human culture. I'm really pumped for this. Let's not waste another second. Let's dive into this brilliant, beautiful, and beautifully glitchy mind of Wren. Here's Neurodivergent. Let's go. I love his little Easter egg, impatient. I think the world is impatient in general, but generally with people who think differently or are wired differently. Back to it.
Stay calm, boy, my thoughts are burning like the napalm. I think I need to get away from this noise. I hate the places that I came from. Destroy and burn a message from the preacher. Subliminal out the speaker. I never paid attention either. There's something strange about my demeanor. Don't feel pity for this sick boy. I've been sitting pretty with prescriptions, flipping stimulants and edibles. It's medicine, cerebellum, repairable, tweaking the biochemical peaking. I'm feeling incredible. But wait a second, need dopamine. My focus goes towards smoke machine. Precursor birds from L-tyrosine. And my brain track doors very psychedelic. These
All right, I got to stop it right there. I think it's so cool, one, that he's approaching this from a talent perspective, what people in the faces of the kids, what they like, what they don't like in these different talent presentations. And then he goes through a list of drugs, really, that try to keep us normal, so to speak. So I'm going to bring that back a little bit. Let's get back to it.
feeling incredible. But wait a second, need dopamine. My focus goes towards smoke machine. Precursor birds from L-tyrosine. And my brain track doors very psychedelic. Deciphering maybes I might have been. Spiraling Fibonacci, Vicodin. The piloting Kawasaki ninja thing. I bring to a big topic. Begin and I go, off script, status quo, got twisted.
Got twisted. Go, got twisted. How many people? I mean, I've done this myself. You know, I'm a big Neil Young fan. And I'm ashamed to say, yeah, I used to say he's nuts. Now I think he's neurodivergent for sure. Anyway, my apologies for speaking that way. Let's get back to it.
Ciphering maybes I might have been. Spiraling Fibonacci, Vicodin. The piloting Kawasaki ninja thing. I bring to a big topic. Begin and I go, off script, status quo, got twisted. The roll, top lip split, explode, misfit, don't fit.
Oh, that phrase just jumped out at me. Misfit, don't fit. Man, how do we try to make square pegs fit into round holes? It's just letting pegs fit where they fit. You know what I mean? All right.
Racetrack doors, race cycling, deciphering maybes and might have been, aspirating Fibonacci, Vicodin, the piloting, Kawasaki, ninja thing, I bring to a big talk, to a big begin, and I go, off script, status quo, car twisted, the roll, top lip split, explode, misfit, don't fit, what makes a person, neurodivergent, 6'6" for certain,
Neurodivergent.
They told me I was broken, nothing but a defect in my head, said that I was hopeless.
Oh man, how destructive it is when people are told that you're a hopeless person. Oh man, how damaging. And now I look to my own behavior. I guess we all look to our own behavior, and man, I'm going to look at people differently. I mean, I look at musicians differently, but this is a great lesson. I benefit from this deep dive. I hope you're benefiting as well.
Just a fucking reject hanging on by a thread. But after all the pills that they got me, it turned me to a zombie. So welcome to the dawn of the dead. In the handicap spot, just to see that doctor. And this is what he said. Yeah, he said, I got a touch of autism. Piece of my puzzle is missing while the attention.
I got a touch of the tism. Piece of my puzzle is missing. Man, deep.
Deficit disorder tunnels my vision. But see, this world's an asylum and shit. We all in the system. And our sanity's the motherfucking cost of admission. You see that glitch in the algorithm, that's me. Don't fit in a crowd, I lift a boundary. Going sick, let it out and flip. They found me with a misfits round. So bitch, allow me to show what I came to do. Shut the blinds and keep the noise down. Cause it's about time to let them all into a madman's mind. Not well, but hell, I feel fine. Go, off script status quo, got twisted. He roll, top lip split, explode, misfit, don't fit. What makes a person neurodivergent?
You got to stop right there. I'm thinking about the pain that anybody goes through, the pain that Wren has gone through. Then God writes straight with a crooked stick. How it brought us all this creativity, and having I'm on a soapbox here. Having him go through this suffering brings light, I think, to so many people. I'd love you to comment on that and tell me what you think. We self-medicate to try to fit in, right? Maybe we shouldn't just try to fit in, just be ourselves. Takes a lot.
6'6" for certain. Neurodivergent. Entirely, shrinks in psychiatry. Don't mind my anxiety or my non-sobriety.
Don't mind my anxiety or my non-sobriety. Man, think about that for a minute. Back to it.
Doctors lining up to lie to me. Speak too much, they try to silence me. Just a product of society. Well, that's fine with me.
Wow, that is just amazing. There's a lot more to this video. I like to dive into the lyrics better. I think there's great lessons there. But hey, I learned a lesson today. I hope you did. I'm not trying to teach you here, but trying to do these deep dives and see where they lead. So I'm excited. One, thanks, Wren, for letting us comment on your videos, and thanks for sharing and bringing this to light for people. I think we're all growing from this and keep writing, keep getting through those struggles. Anyway, check out this next video playlist. I've done other reaction videos. I think I'm growing a little bit better with that, and look forward to the next one. As I always say, be generous with your joy, keep your spirits high. Let the music take you on a journey. I'm Steve Yusko for the Long Island Sound. I'll see you in the next one. Be well, everyone.